Hi everyone, my name is Elil. I am here to present my analysis on the movie Vertigo. The movie Vertigo was directed by Alfred Hitchcock, one of the famous directors who is known for his suspenseful psychological films. Coming to the characters involved in the movie, we have Scotty, an ex detective, Mitch, an independent designer, Gavin, a businessman, Madeline, wife of Gavin, Judy, an independent working woman, Carlotta, great grandmother of Madeline Esther. Before going to my analysis, I would like to give a very brief summary of the movie. Scotty is an ex detective who now developed acrophobia, the fear of heights, from a past incident where he witnesses the death of a fellow police officer who falls to his death while trying to help Scotty. He spends most of his time hanging out in the apartment of his old friend Midge. Scotty is requested by one of his old acquaintances from college named Gavin Elster to follow his wife Madeline Elster, who he believes is possessed by the ghost of her great grandmother Carlota Valdez. Scotty observes Madeline going to a grave of Carlota and visiting to a gallery to gaze upon the portrait of Carlota, spending time in the old house of where Carlota lived, which is now renovated to be used as a hotel. Later, he rescues Madeline when she jumps into the San Francisco Bay River, which later leads them to often meeting each other and later falling in love. In the attempt to solve her nightmares and troubles, Scotty brings her to a Spanish mission, where Madeline jumps from a tall bell tower and dies. Scotty couldn't save her in spite of his efforts due to his acrophobia. After a court hearing, it is confirmed that her death is a suicide. Scotty becomes clinically depressed and is admitted in a sanatorium. After his release from the sanatorium, he sees Judy, a woman with striking resemblance to Madeline. He follows her and tells her the truth about her resemblance to Madeline. It is revealed to us viewers that Judy is actually the person hired by Gavin to impersonate his wife Madeline to cover up the murder of Madeline. Scotty eventually forces Judy to dress and act like Madeline, and later finds out the truth about Madeline's death. In an attempt to confront her, he loses Judy from the same bell tower where she falls to her death. Now, coming to the bad aspects reflected in the movie, we have the term masculinity. Scotty, the lead of the film, is a man with acrophobia, a man afraid of heights. But the society has a definition for masculinity. A man should be fearless, powerful, and strong. He should be a savior. Scotty is failing to fulfill these definitions due to his current state. This need to affirm his masculinity made him take the job offered by Gavin to watch over Madeline, who is in a fragile and needful situation. Scotty searches for a woman without any identity of her own. Among the women around him, both Mitch and Judy have a personality and identity to her. But Madeline is clean as a slate, a person in a loss of identity. This aspect arises several questions. Is it the need to prove his masculinity that led to the tragic end? Should we try to understand our fears instead of trying to confront them? Another aspect is obsession. What is the core reason for many situations happening in the film? It is obsession. The movie showcases the obsession in some form and sometimes even glorifies it in the name of love. Throughout the movie, we see Scotty's obsession to overcome his fear leading to the death of Judy, Scotty's obsession with Madeline leading to him oppressing Judy, a rich man obsession with beauty leading to him betraying Carlota, Gavin's obsession with money and power leading to the murder of Madeline. Then comes inclusivity. It includes only white actors and actresses. The cast of the movie doesn't include even a single African American or men or women of other lower socio-economic status at the time of 1950s. It represents racism and discrimination on the basis of skin color. Gender roles. The film was produced and released in 1950s. The men who previously went to the war as soldiers returned back to home. The jobs of women were again reclaimed by men, leading to enforcement of gender roles. It is a period of conformity where most people accepted the norms and gender roles forced to them by the society to live a normal life. A set of rules as to what men should do and what women should do. The film makes no effort to break these norms in any way, shape, or form. In the film, we could see the man being police officers, detectives, business owners, doctors, lawyers, jury members, and even flower vendors. And the only two independent women shown in the movie are either questioned about their marriage plans or asked to quit their jobs and be dependent on a man. And if they don't obey to that, they are showcased less desirable, which should be a separate topic altogether. And that topic would be portrayal. Intelligent and independent women in the movie are portrayed as undesirable and unsuitable. They are simply showcased as not an ideal woman. Mitch, an independent artist who is more intelligent than any man in the film, is shown to lead a lonely life. She doesn't abide by the rules of men. She is a rule breaker in even the smallest of things. One scene represents her being avoided by Scotty while looking at a self-portrait of her. Do women wearing glasses are not desirable? Even though she loves, cares, respects, she is finally portrayed to have a lonely life just because of her identity. Judy, a working woman of great sense of self, is forced to change herself to an ideal woman, a woman worthy of love. Now, coming to the good aspects of the movie, the title. What kind of a title is this for a psychological crime thriller movie? The title of the film, Vertigo, represents acrophobia, the fear of height, but from the fact that the people are afraid of falling. This notion of falling is shown throughout the movie, whether it be a policeman falling from the roof, Scotty falling for Gavin's lies, Scotty falling in love with Madeline, Madeline falling in water, Scotty falling into depression, Judy falling in love with Scotty, Judy falling from the tower. Thus, it is an apt and a good title for the movie. Now, historical representations. The movie takes place in the mid-1950s in San Francisco, a decade soon after the Great Depression and World War II. The movie does a great job in representing the timeline with its elements. During this period, suburbanization led to mass production of automobiles such as cars, leading to even middle-class families being able to afford cars. And in the movie, this is clearly depicted. Roads are filled with cars and almost everyone owns a car regardless of their economic standards. And the movie also tries to shed light on the male oppression during the 1860s in some of its brief moments. Femininity. The movie sheds light on the treatment of women and the rules enforced on them during its period. When looked upon from a female gaze, the movie portrays both the strength and weaknesses of women. It is a period of time where the media lacked in portraying strong women. The examples might include the daily soap operas such as I Love Lucy, Father Knows Best, and Leave It to a Baron, which didn't even try portraying a single strong independent woman in them. One who denies to change herself for others and one who is strong in her decisions. The movie actually attempted to showcase two strong women characters in its time, thus rewriting the society's rule about what is femininity. Mental health. The movie tries to educate people about the mental health and well-being of a person, something that often lacks in even the movies of 21st century. This again is a reflection of the time period in which the movie is produced. The Mental Health Association of San Francisco, a charitable organization formed in the 1947, continued to advocate people about the importance of mental health in mid-1950s. The movie takes mental health and mental well-being seriously. Scotty's acrophobia is never laughed upon in the movie as an imaginary illness. Also, the movie doesn't take the topic of depression lightly. There is a brief moment in the film where we could see Scotty getting treated for his depression. Love. It is hard to explain the true consequences of love in the film. In general, love is expected to end in happiness. But in this film, Scotty's love for Judy ends up in obsession. Mitch's love for Scotty ends up in dejection and disappointment. Madeline's love for her husband ends in death. Carlotta's love for her child ends in suicide. But one thing that is sure is that the movie helps to understand that love is not a bed of roses. Socio-economic communities. Since the movies released in the 1950s never included men or women from African American community or other lower socio-economic groups, the implications of gender norms never really affected them. The women of these societies never came into the radar of an ideal woman. So the media's influence in the 1950s paved a way for the development of women in these lower socio-economic groups. Coming to the visual grammar of the movie, colors play an important role in the movie. The green color is used to represent life. The scene in the woods where Scotty says, "Always green and ever living." The moments where the characters truly feels alive and living has an element of green color in it. The moment he reminisces about Madeline, the moment they understand each other, the moment he sees Judy, and the moment Judy transforms herself into Madeline. In all these moments, we could see elements of green color. Now coming to the fashion. Fashion is also a key element in representing the personalities of the character. Men are always seen wearing suit, making a statement of authority. The fashion sense of Midge showcases her free will and identity. The elegant yet subtle clothes and sleek hairdo of Madeline showcases her as a soft, idle woman of the society. And Judy, with her bright and modern dress with free-flowing hair, is seen as an independent woman with an identity of her own. The camera work also elevates the meaning of several scenes. The shots where Scotty first encounters Madeline are filled with bright colors, yet the visuals have a great soft focus, creating a hazy effect such as a dream, providing those moments a divine feel to the viewers that would later impact us when we witness Madeline's death. Also, the movie has a lot of close up shots to effectively convey the emotions of the character. I would like to arise some questions before concluding the video. What does the director want us to take away from the movie? Is the movie also an effort to enforce gender roles? Is the need for love so great that it convinced Madeline to lose her identity? Was it easy for Midge to be an independent woman in that period of time? What would have happened if it wasn't for Scotty's idea to confront his fears? Does he in some way actually wanted to witness another death to overcome his phobia? Since Midge earlier referred that he has to face another traumatic incident to come out of his fears. So these are my analysis and observations about the movie Vertigo. I thank all of you for your time.